label debut.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's great to have you here.
Yeah, it's nice to be here. It's good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, likewise. The past year has been really interesting because you've spent a lot of time recording, but even more so in the back of a van
Yeah.
and on stage and playing with a host of different people, playing to new audiences and in different cities all the time. This is the first time you've gone out and done it on an intense, large scale.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Totally.
What's the most you take away from it?
Sleepless nights.
Yeah, the sleepless nights, and I mean the memories that you make along the way, and getting to see the country like in ways that you never would have otherwise. Like America, I haven't seen most of it before last year, and I saw pretty much every state.
The whole shebang, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did 33 shows over the course of 2 months with a band from Mongolia called The Who.
Yeah.
And I think like every show on that tour was sold out. And it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was the biggest tour we've done so far, and we came out a much stronger, tighter unit than we were before then. And I think we've grown a lot as performers and musicians.
Yeah.
And I think all the experiences of seeing the Utah salt flats and coming out of lots of blizzards and whatnot.
Yeah.
I think we're hardier boys for that for sure.
Yeah, road hardened for sure.
Yeah, and that's a hard way to do it, but
Yeah.
when I talk to people who travel on a larger scale, they fly and they don't see too much. They kind of jet in
Yeah.
and they jet out. You're smelling the pavement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
road dog style.
Yeah.
Yes. It's great though. I mean, you still don't really get to see as much of every city that you want to.
Yeah,
I find that
you just get kind of like a splash of flavor of each city, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Well, now I know what that's like.
like we do strive really hard to find like the good local coffee shops,
Thrift
like,
shops.
all the good local Indian food, and that's kind of like where we try to like. Those are the three big ones that we always ask for when we get to.
Oh,
venue,
definitely.
for sure.
Good for you. And you just open up your mobile device and just Google best
That's it.
Indian restaurant in Nashville.
Yes.
Oh, we already know.
That's called Bombay Palace.
Yeah, we
spent
already
a lot
know
of
it.
time in Nashville this year. Like we were in Nashville.
Plenty of meals were had there.
Yeah, Bombay Palace is amazing.
There's a great Bombay Palace in downtown Toronto on Jarvis
there?
Street that's been
Oh my.
been
Yeah,
around
I don't know
for
if they're
years and
if they're in
years.
cahoots or something.
Yeah.
If
Who
they are,
knows?
that'd be sick.
Yeah.
We'll have to find out.
And have you had at Mount Everest in Pickering Village?
No, we have
No,
not.
Oh,
this
guys.
sounds amazing.
All
What
right.
about like the Dal and the Vindaloo over by Spicy Affairs? That's
Yeah, I went there a couple
It's a
months
good
ago
one.
for the first time.
It's-
Yeah,
Great
it's
little
great.
spot.
Good
Yeah,
spot.
yeah. That's fabulous. Of all the places that you stopped in, any that you want to plant your feet down in and kind of explore a little bit more?
I want to explore Big Sur,
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
in California.
Yeah.
It's just
We-
so beautiful.
Yeah, we were lucky enough. We had a day in between our northern and our southern California shows, so we had the day to drive down the Highway 1, the Pacific Coast Highway, and it's the most beautiful highway in the world.
It is spectacular.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is the vibe between East Coast and West Coast is so different.
It's
Totally.
like a certain kind of like laid back culture on both coasts, where I think like the ocean does
Does
something to
yeah,
people.
must.
It mellows everyone out.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's something about like that friendliness and openness that you get on either coast. Not to say that the interior isn't great. Ontario's pretty good too. But yeah, the coasts are amazing. The West Coast is
There's
very
something magical
special.
about
Yeah,
it.
magical is a good word for it, Cody. Yeah.
What's really interesting is there's a funny kind of political climate in the U.S. And I just spent 2 weeks down in Florida myself, and
Nice.
you don't
yeah.
get a sense of that when you're there, do you?
No, not really.
Yeah.
I mean, everywhere we went, but we were pretty insulated with like the crowds from the Who and stuff being more like open-minded, cool folk into this kind of music. So
Yeah, I feel like there's like obviously these days there's a pretty like big stigma to like American politics, but then you go down there and you spend time with like salt of the earth people, and like it's a good eye-opening moment when you realize no matter what of a country's like, international policy may be, the people that make up the country are people no matter where you go.
It's independent
And,
from that.
yeah, and well, especially when everyone we meet is through music, and there's a certain culture that surrounds that, and usually it's more like open-minded, progressive people. So like maybe that's just the small sample size that we're meeting every day. But
Yeah, it's been a positive experience overall.
Big time, yeah.
Positive experiences. I didn't know that Jack White specifically asked for you guys to come and tour with him, and that was pretty cool.
That was
Yeah, it was a
amazing. We
really
found
humbling
out,
moment.
Like, I think we found out 2 days before we had to
Yeah.
play the show. So
Yeah.
we get a phone call from our manager. It's like, all right, pack your bags. You need I
You
think
need
it was
to be
like
in
6
Edmonton
in the evening.
in
we had to
48
leave.
hours, and we're like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, so we had a couple hours to pack the bags and hit the road, and we made it on time, which is amazing.
Of course,
you
the
know.
show has to
Somehow.
go
We're
on, right?
we're scrambling,
Yeah.
like calling up backline companies to get all the gear we need, like into the venue at the right time, and it all worked out. That was a really good
Yeah.
tour.
Two pretty congruent acts, even though you're very different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Totally.
Yeah. I think I don't know if a lot of duos get a tour with Jack, so it was pretty interesting.
And it was really cool to like have him watch us play a handful of times. on
Cool
that
and
tour.
scary.
Yeah, both at the same time. But it was really cool.
What about Primus? Les Claypool is a bit of an enigma.
He's a genius,
Yeah.
man. Like Les
Yeah.
is
And
like
a
one of my
sweetheart.
all-time heroes, and we
Yeah.
were hanging out in his bus, and he was showing me how to play all of my favorite bass lines that he did. And
He really? He
Yeah.
sat down
Oh,
with you?
yeah.
yeah, it was
Nice.
a great
nice.
time. And,
We got
you know,
schooled.
yeah, we were just like trading off riffs, and he was showing me how to play Buzzards of Green Hill from his Flying Frog Brigade project, and that's like my personal favorite
Yeah.
thing that he ever did. And so I'm sitting there playing the bass, and he looks at me, he's like, "Oh, so you're a bass player, eh?" I'm like, "Yeah, like bass is my first instrument." He's like, so he looks at me, he's like, "Why are you playing guitar then?" You know, it's like just the
Interesting.
classic disgruntled bass player, you know,
Yeah.
like we all got a band together. You know?
But he plays bass like guitar.
He's-
I mean, he has
He has
he's
his
got
own thing. He's got
thing.
like this like kind of flamenco
That's amazing.
style that's so unique unto himself. I don't know anyone else who sounds like Les.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that comes out, and it comes out of a strange. I'm not going to say strange because that might sound derogatory, but it comes out of a unique mind.
Yes,
Oh yeah. And he's such a sweet person too.
Yeah,
yeah. Him and his wife Cheney are great. Like they're
Incredible
living
people.
the ultimate dream. They you know they have their own tour bus that they travel together, and
Yeah,
they
yeah.
you know they sell their wine at the VIP.
Yeah, he drives his own tour bus.
Yeah, he drives his own bus.
Yeah.
Great.
He's like,
They
yeah.
make their own wine.
They
Yeah.
do.
Okay, no, but we're not talking basement wine. We're talking they
Like
have a
real-
vineyard and
real
they're
deal wine.
manufactured.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like most big rock stars are into the wine.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
what it is. Like, we met. We were lucky enough to hang out with Les and Getty at the Claypool Lennon Delirium show at the Danforth.
And
River
Sean
this
and
year.
Sean.
Yeah, and Sean Lennon was
course.
there too, which
Yeah.
is amazing. And it was just Getty and Les were hanging out, just talking about wine. Like the two greatest
Yeah.
bass players in the world. We were just hanging out, trying to belong, trying to be cool. You know, so-
Yeah.
and these guys are just talking about the different grapes and whatnot. And it was interesting because you know we're totally out of our depth when it comes to
Oh, well,
wine,
it's okay.
obviously.
It was
okay.
cool to get a nice lesson from the masters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, wine is like a good song.
Yeah.
You know, and it also has wine has a story. Every bottle has a
Yeah.
story. Every bottle has a history.
Yeah.
It has a geography. It has
Totally.
terroir. So it's there's lots to talk about, and people get intimidated by wine because they think, oh, why don't I got sick on Black Tower when I was in university and I don't touch this stuff. But it's just like tasting a nice IPA or something like that. I mean,
Yeah.
you sit down, you nurse it, you get to know it, and it's a beautiful thing,
It
like a
is.
song. You know.
Song.
I love that.
You worked with David Cobb
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
this new record. I really wasn't up to speed on his resume. And after looking at it and listening to the stuff he's done, I was thinking, what a fantastic little partnership. I mean,
Yeah.
I like right away it seemed that, it's on paper, so you never know, how the team's going to play, right?
Yeah.
But it seemed like a really good fit.
Yeah, it was a great experience. He's got a very unique style that we don't see a lot these days, where he likes to track everything live off the floor and get like the performance and the vibe. And so I think this record has like this like open organic kind of character.
Yeah, it's like closest to like our live show experience, kind of encapsulated in that package.
It's really easy to get carried away with like overdubs in the studio. And
Yeah, it sure
whatnot.
is.
And,
But-
so we really wanted to make sure it sounds like
Yeah,
us.
Yeah.
And be,
and he
be
kept us
true
in
to the
line
duo.
about it too, which
Yeah,
was really
yeah,
cool.
he
So
did.
we were really grateful to have worked with him because
Yeah.
he understood like our vision and what we wanted to go for, and he was
Yeah.
just the perfect guy for this.
Yeah, we didn't do any click tracks or anything. We would just basically go and play through the song once or twice. And then we, us being perfectionists, we'd keep pushing and pushing, and he'd just kind of stop us and be like, you got it like the first take.
Yeah,
man.
he's
You
like,
guys
you're
are
getting
good,
you're getting into your head, and
Yeah,
he kept
yeah,
talking
start
about
thinking
capturing the
about-
spirit of the song, and it kind of got us thinking about music differently, and it was amazing. His perspective was completely unique, and
Yeah, and he's the tone master. He
Yeah.
had some really, really good ideas, and he has some really, really good gear, too.
Yeah, so I
it was
think-
a lot of fun.
I think like his philosophy on music will like rub off in our future works as well.
So you plan on going back and seeing him again, I guess.
think
Eh?
so, yeah, that'd be
That's kind
nice,
of cool.
yeah.
Now you did a little lunchtime session for us, which we'll have up on our socials later on.
Yeah.
Really nice, by the way. Cody, your voice is powerful, sweet,
Oh.
authoritative. It's
Thank
really
you.
really nice. Good control.
Just like a good wine.
Thank you so much.
You're turning into a much better singer. You were always
Oh,
good.
thank you.
Now you're bordering on great.
Oh, hey, thank you. Glad to hear that. Well, I started like singing kind of seriously with Crownland, so
Yeah.
and you were there since the beginning, so it's
Yeah.
good to see that the growth is happening.
Yeah. How's the playing coming along? You always play great, but what are you learning these days?
I'm learning a lot of polyrhythms on drums lately. Still studying like Afro-Cuban kind of drumming technique and applying it to the drum kit.
Yeah.
And just always working on my voice and trying to break new boundaries.
Yeah. And Kevin, your voice as a guitar player, I mean,
Oh,
your dynamic range is incredible.
Oh, thank you very much. I try and just when Cody sings loud, I play loud. When he sings quiet, I play quiet. Like, how about that? But thank you, man. I feel like we're getting tighter and tighter for sure. Sounds good.
And you're a duo. You play as a duo. The band's not augmented.
Yeah,
So
I
you
know.
play by yourselves. And I was
Yeah.
watching you guys and I was thinking, it's not like a normal band where parts are interchangeable, depending
Yeah.
on tour, depending on album, depending on. So there's a unique little dynamic here. You guys have to work well together.
Well,
Yeah.
Because if you don't, there's no Crownlands.
it's just
Totally.
Crown Land then.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny because it's usually like the rhythm section that kind of gets like the short end of the stick in a band, whereas like Cody and I are the rhythm section. Like Cody's like passion is the drums and my love is the bass, and but now we've got Cody had to become the front man because no one else wanted to sing. I play guitar because well, you gotta have good harmonic content, so you throw the guitar in there. So I think we come at it as like we're very happy to be like the backbone kind of background of a band, yet we've been forced to be the faces or frontmen of a band. So it's kind of nice that we don't have the very weird egos that come along with being like the frontman and the guitarist.
Yeah, and I think that even informs our approach to those other harmonic aspects of being a band.
It's the beef,
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking as vegetarians, the beef is important.
So you have a little bit of downtime right now until
Not-
May, I guess.
Say that
Not
like
quite.
we're-
Not quite. Okay, no. What's the immediate,
We're pretty,
the near
pretty
term?
busy. We're recording a video next week.
Okay.
Yeah, we're working on this. Like we're going to be recording an acoustic EP as well.
in,
It's like,
in 2 weeks.
it's like an accompanying piece to this record.
Wow,
and we're
that's
writing,
interesting.
And we're
Yeah.
writing our next record right now. That's
Yeah.
hopefully going to be recording after our UK European tour with Larkin Poe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
which starts in May.
Yeah, we're gonna
Yes.
keep
Yeah.
things rolling. Basically, we're not gonna stop.
no stop.
Yeah, we're just kind of open this.
You feel like there's a little bit of momentum, but now that
Yeah.
you're under the umbrella of the big record machine, do you find that you still have enough artistic autonomy?
Oh, complete artistic
Yeah,
autonomy.
that's why we're
I'm putting you on the
Yeah.
spot, by the way.
Of course,
Yeah,
no,
no,
of course. But we can honestly say we have complete artistic autonomy. The team that we have is absolutely unbelievable, and is
We're
it's
very
why.
lucky.
Yeah,
We're very lucky
totally.
to have the people that we do working with us, and it's nice that everyone's kind of supporting us and like along for the ride of wherever we're trying to like push and pull our own musical direction, because we don't want to stay just a stagnant kind of like rock duo. I think we have much more to say than just that. So it's going to be very exciting to see where the music takes us. Yeah.
And the first time in Europe for you, have you
Yeah.
visited Europe at all? Either of
We've
you?
never
No.
been,
Yeah.
never even been. So
That's
we're
going to be
stoked.
great.
Yeah.
And
we're
that's
trying
starting
to,
the
like,
first week of May, I think, isn't it?
yeah. Have you spent some time in Europe?
I've only been to England and Scotland.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
that's-
we'll have
that's
to
super
get,
cool.
Any tips?
Yeah, we'll need to
go
pick your brain.
see?
No, I was too drunk.
I love it.
Yeah. And you're going to be back here to play at the Mod Club on
Yes.
June the 8th, which is going to be fantastic. It's a great room. It's going to be perfect for you.
Yeah, it's going to be great. We'll be coming off the tour.
Yeah.
So we'll be.
You'll be in good form.
Yeah,
You
we'll
might
be-
be a little
Totally.
jet lagged because
Yeah.
it's like 2 days after you get home or something like that.
No, it's a
3 or
couple.
4 days.
Yeah, we have some time to bounce back, but we're gonna be firing on all cylinders, and I can't wait.
All right.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Kevin Como, Cody Bowles, Crownlands.